Welcome to another episode of Chat Sports Talk. My name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And I'm going to dive into a topic I haven't talked about all year yet. And they just had their All-Star weekend. That's right. Well, I'm going to talk about and get into the NBA in the 75th year of the National Basketball Association. It had a plethora of great players that led their teams on the hardwood, that galvanized fans, with Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the feud between Magic and Larry, the Bad Boys of Detroit, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal's little dynasty with the Lakers, Hakeem, the Dream Olajuwon, the Spurs and their run with the Twin Towers of the Admiral and Tim Duncan to King James. Always seem to accumulate that talent no matter where he goes to win a title for that team. So, and before the start of the season, the NBA carried their NBA 75th anniversary team with 76 players. They had a lot of controversy around that because certain players were left off, certain players thought they belonged on there. And all in all, I thought it was a very good encompassing of some of the best talent the league has ever had from its early foundation to the megastars of today. And I will give you my take of the 75. This will be my 75 top 75 players in the NBA. It will only consist of 75 players, so no 76s, no ties, nothing like that. Before I dive in all that action, if you could, go ahead, smash that thumbs up for me, especially like the content I provide you. It really pleases YouTube guys. That promotes this channel out. You can also subscribe. I've seen my analytics. I love y'all. Review my work. Not many of you subscribe. I love y'all for doing that, by the way. It really helps me continue on this glorious mission of entertaining you with my little expertise and sports knowledge and give you a different aspect. But it doesn't cost you a dime. You can to subscribe, and once you do that, you help me provide more entertainment value for you. Before I get on this one, I'm kind of tell you right now, I'm not going to sit here write off the names of these 75 players and give you some of the brief stats they have. I create a little slide show for you. I'm going to play here in a few minutes of my 75. There's no particular order. Technically, the order is all alphabetical. So I don't think any player is greater than the other one, even though I have more inclination calling Michael Jordan the GOAT than do maybe Kareem or LeBron or Wilt. But each generation has their player they consider the greatest of all time. I know one player kind of gets overlooked in that conversation is Karl Malone, because he's number 2 in scoring. The mailman always delivered. But, some things I can tell you ahead of time. My list will be missing 3. They're on the current list, and I've added 2 to the 75 players. So there will be some controversy with this one. I guarantee it, and that's fine. Not everyone's 75 list will be the exact same. And I do concentrate more on the older players than I did the current players. Some of the current players, there's no doubt the reason why they were added, just because of what they bring to the table. But let me just go ahead and play this little clip of my 75. And then from there, we'll kind of dive a little bit more into that. So enjoy this next little clip. And I'll see you on the other side. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little clip there. And as you know, they're really eerily similar to what the NBA already really pretty much put out. And I think a lot of people will kind of, majority of those players, at least 70 of those, no one probably have arguments with. Well, maybe not 70. Okay, let's put 60. At least 60 of these players on there, no one's going to argue with. I mean, you get the likes of Kobe Bryant on there. I mean, and Giannis. I mean, the Greek freak is just a Greek phenomenon right now. The old players of Oscar Robertson and Bob McAdoo and Jerry West and Dolph Shays. I mean, those just some of the names of the forefathers of today's game and how it's evolved over the years. Because I grew up in the time frame with the Magic Bird rivalry, the Bad Boys of Detroit with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, the meteoric rise of MJ, Sir Charles, Stockton and Malone, Patrick Ewing in New York, Chris Mullins out there in Golden State, Reggie Miller in Indiana, Mark Price in Cleveland. Those are some of the guys that I grew up watching, and it's when I really kind of followed basketball probably more than I do today. But then you see some today's stars like the bearded wonder of James Harden, Chris Paul, Westbrook, Carmelo, and Steph Curry. I mean, these, of course, not to mention King James, but these are the individuals that are leading the game to the next generation and vitalizing fans again. And I know there's a lot of names that are missing off of this one. Like I said, 3 from the current that's on the NBA list now on this one. That's Kawhi, Damian, and AD. And like I said, it's a very hard to really pinpoint who to put in here, who to have in create a all-encompassing list, because this list also is missing 2 MVPs. So every single MVP the NBA has had on this list is also the NBA list except for 2. So with that being said, I created my next 25. This is basically a group of 25 players that could have been included in this one. They've had the talent, the accolades to be included in the 75, but just kind of fell short one way or another, or just because they had to make room for someone else. It's like my 75, I put Vince Carter and Alex English. Alex English doesn't get mentioned by anyone, but he was one of the scoring machines of the 80s. And Vinsanity, I mean, come on. I mean, anywhere you went, he was, just spectacular. But the next 25 will address the 3 missing from, of course, the NBA's list and the 2 other MVPs. So that gives you constitutes there's 5 right there already off the book. So another 20 players that could be added. Most of them are current players. There's a few of the older generation guys in there, but I'll go ahead and flash that 25 for you here and let you enjoy this collection of great talent the NBA has to offer. hope you enjoyed that little clip there showing the next 25 on there, the guys that I think could have been added in there. There's a handful of other guys I had in mind as well. Going about creating this list took a long time and had me changing and editing and moving guys up, moving guys out, down. I mean, it's just a hard process to really do that. And you know, the experts that created the NBA's list, you know, they had a hard job to do. There's a lot of like I said, a lot of talent, especially today's game. When you got Luka and Draymond and Clay and Damian and AD and Kyrie and Kawhi. I mean, these just so much talent in today's game that, you know, they're going to lead the NBA in, like I said, in the further generations and further on into the 21st century. But, you know, yeah, this is my list. I know there's probably a few names out there. People will probably go say, hey, what happened to this guy? Why not you put him in there? And I get that. Like I said, I had quite a few of them that I wanted to put up there that I didn't. And some of them like included Cliff Hagan, an old Seattle or St. Louis great. Bob Davies, one of the original players out there that did really good. Mark Jackson was a thorn in the side when he was in New York and in Indiana. Did very well. A couple of defensive greats of like Bobby Jones and Dennis Johnson. So, you know, there were some players out there I was kind of looking at to put in there, and, you know, it just didn't quite work that way. And I get that. I mean, but, you know, it's kind of hard to kind of put this into its perspective to kind of figure out, okay, what's the best thing going forward to kind of determine if this is something that could actually work or not really work, but it's really hard to really put, you know, this into perspective the great 75 of the NBA. But hey, just let me know down below who you think probably should have made either one of these lists. I can think of a couple of top of my head already. So, like I said, there's just so much talent out there to really kind of go, hey, you know, you forgot this guy, and I completely get that. But with both these lists, every single MVP was accounted for. The multitude of all-stars, all NBAs, most of the finals MVPs are included. I mean, this is just a phenomenal list of great talent. And if you make this the top 100, I don't think no one will complain too much, except for maybe about 25. But that's a good thing about sports. Everyone has their own perspective of who is the greatest, who should be deserving of the high accolades. And everyone sees the game a little bit differently. So, and just let me know down below what you think, especially who you thought possibly could have left off, who, you know, who should have been in the 75 compared to the 25. Like I said, there's no wrong answers. As long as we're all respectful for each other and we can have a nice, you know, civilized conversation, I have no worries about that. Once again, while you're there, you go ahead and you can smash that thumbs up if you like, especially like the content I provide you. You can also subscribe. Once you subscribe, hit that bell notification. Let you know next time I post a video, and I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.